What's going on, guys? It's DanBeforeTime. So as you guys probably know, No Man's Sky finally got its first major update since the release. Overnight last night they dropped patch 1.1 or version 1.1, and this was teased earlier in the weekend. I didn't expect it to come this soon, but it's definitely here. As they noted in the kind of tease for this patch, the main portion of this patch is the addition of base building. And they made it kind of seem like there wasn't going to be much else, but there is a lot going on in this patch, including the ability to own freighters, which is pretty cool. So in my view, those are the two main things coming from this patch. Now, in this video, I'm not going to go over the entire patch notes. There's a lot of other channels that are out there doing it probably much better than I could do it justice anyway. So I did spend about 2 hours with the game in its new form this afternoon, and I took some time, walked away from the game, collected my thoughts, and I kind of want to go over my feelings about the patch, whether or not it makes this game worth buying if you haven't bought it yet, or playing if you put it down and we're waiting for something like this to come along. So let's jump into it. So the gameplay that you guys are seeing in the background here is me starting a brand new game in creative mode. Now if you guys didn't hear, they did add 3 distinct modes to 1.1. So you have classic mode, which retains your old save if you have played the game before. Now the second mode that we're going to have access to is survival mode. This turns it into more of a traditional survival game, and for survival game fans out there, I think this is going to be a really big draw. For me personally, that's not my cup of tea at all, so I haven't played it yet, and to be honest with you guys, I'm not sure if I'm even going to try to play it, just because, like I said, survival games, not my thing. I really do enjoy watching people play survival games, but it just stresses me out when I'm playing it, and I don't like to have that type of game experience. But the third mode is the one you're watching here, and like I said, that is called creative mode. And how I would sum this mode up is basically it puts you in the No Man's Sky universe. You start from scratch again, except for everything is basically free. There's no need to grind for resources, so there's no need to ever refill those damn launch thrusters again, which for me is the biggest win that I could have ever asked for. If they could have given me that in an update, I would have been happy. No, but all jokes aside, it basically does give you a blank canvas to work with inside the universe of No Man's Sky, which is pretty damn cool. But the drawback is it's not going to let you get any of your achievements done in this mode because it would just be too easy. It changes the game too much. But if you just want to go into 1.1 and experience the new features of the base building and buying a freighter and even buying new ships, you can do that without the added pressure of the grind, because these things all do cost if you choose to build them in the actual game or onto your previous save. All of these things take resources. All of the parts in the building and the individual parts for the bases all need different materials, different resources. So it's going to be a grind to get your base built up within the actual game. Now, I did find that there are some negatives to this approach as well, which I'll get into in just a little bit, but let's talk about the actual base building mechanics and how they work in game. So they said it was intuitive, and I did find that it was a fairly intuitive process once you kind of figure out how to navigate the menu, which you see on the bottom center. It's a little bit clunkier than I would prefer at first, but it does work pretty well after a little bit of trial and error. The problem that I did have with it was when I tried to build 2 separate areas apart from each other and then connect them with a hallway, it wouldn't let me do it initially because the spacing of the 2 main buildings wasn't exactly perfect. And I wish that they had a solution for that that kind of auto-snapped for you when you added the hallways, because it was kind of a pain in the butt to move around the towers until they were just perfect. And in fact, I didn't end up doing that, and I did have to use kind of a separate solution of putting 2 door ramps together just to make a walkway in between these 2 towers that I was trying to build. So that was a little weird for me. I wish it was a little more intuitive that way, to where you can just build and it would kind of extend the pieces for you to the length that you needed. Now I know that that's probably very difficult to design, but it's something that I think they should keep in mind going forward to improve this experience for the users. So once I claimed this planet as my home and started working on my base, the game gave me a directive to go to the space station and hire a scientist. So that is another feature. You're hiring NPCs to man this base and keep it working so it's autonomous, which is kind of a cool thing. So you can have things like a scientist, I believe an architect, you can have a farmer, you can have a weaponsmith. Now all of that stuff is cool on its own, but you can also buy freighters. And because I'm playing in creative mode, those were also free, so I absolutely went and did that. Now when you go, you find the captain, you basically make an offer on the ship. Now I have no idea how much these things cost in the actual game. I know it's very expensive. So that's the one drawback to playing it normally, is you're going to have to grind a lot in order to be able to do these things. But like I said earlier, I do have a major problem with creative mode, and that is it kind of becomes unrewarding because it's all so easy to do. So this is where the crack started to show for me. This update is directed at a very specific type of gamer. If you like crafting and if you like survival, this is going to be an update that you'll probably really want to fire up and give a shot. So me personally as a gamer, I don't particularly care for either one of those things, crafting or survival. So this was fun for about 2 hours for me, but I feel like I pretty much got all that I needed to get out of it. And to be honest with you guys, and I know a lot of people won't like this, but I probably won't be playing this that much more based on just this update. Now I do have to point out that they stress that this is just the foundation for bigger changes to come within No Man's Sky. So I will leave that there, but as of right now, I'm not ready to jump back in with both feet. This update did add very useful, very substantial layers for certain types of gamers. But I didn't buy the game for base building or survival, so for me there's still something drastically lacking in the core experience of No Man's Sky. And for the longest time, I didn't know exactly what that was, but after playing 1.1, I think I finally have a grasp on what I think this game needs. But I'm going to save that for a different video on another day. So, I'd love to know what you guys think of this update. Have you played it? Are you waiting to play it? Are you excited? Are you not excited? Let me know in the comments down below. That's going to do it for me here today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. As always, I've been DanBeforeTime. You guys have been awesome. And until next time, enjoy your day.